Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing some more aquarium nails. This time around I'm doing some lava lamp nails. Here I am just marking out how far up I want the tank to be. Really, when doing this you should be measuring it out on your nail, like your nail bed, and leaving enough space for like the tip of your finger. That way the base of the tank isn't digging into your finger. But I can't really do that on myself because I do already have nails on, and that kind of distorts it. And also, no one's going to be wearing these, so it doesn't really matter how far up I put the tank anyways. But after I get those all marked out, I am just taking some no wipe rhinestone glue and spreading that out on this piece of plastic. Last time when I did this, I used the plastic that note cards come in, and that was a little too flimsy and it ended up wrinkling up a little bit when I cured it. So this time I am using the plastic that a pack of nail files had come in, because it was a little bit thicker and a little bit sturdier, and it ended up working out a whole lot better than the plastic wrap on the note cards. So after I get all of this rhinestone glue spread out, I do take the nails and place them right on top of that. And I do press them down into it a little bit to make sure that the glue is fully touching all of the edges of the tip, and there won't be any gaps or anything in between the backing and the nail tip. And you want to make sure whatever you're using for the backing and when you're sealing up the tanks, that it's something that cures without a sticky layer. That way all the stuff that you put inside of your tanks doesn't stick to the backing or the seals. Also, I've seen a couple people say when they do it like this that the backing will pop right off of their nail tip. I personally have never had an issue with that, but if that is something you are experiencing, then just take your hand file and kind of rough up the edges and like the underside, or not the underside of the tips, but like the edges, you know, where the glue and the tips are gonna meet. You want to rough those up a little bit, that way it has something to adhere to a little better, just like how you rough up your natural nails a little bit before you put on any enhancement. After I get those placed on, I do cure for 60 seconds, and then it peels right off of the plastic. Then I'm going to take these scissors and cut them apart. And then a lot of people will file off the edges. I personally, however, like to take these straight edge cuticle nippers and just go right up along the edge and just clip that off. It's easier for me, and I don't have to worry about filing anything. I also don't have to worry about any of the dust that comes along with filing. This just helps me to keep everything nice and clean and dust free. Also, when clipping off the excess, you do want to be careful to not pull it too much, because you can actually end up pulling the backing off a little bit. I ended up doing that on this one. Right there you could see I did try to pull it off and it didn't come off, and it actually pulled the backing off of the back of the nail a little bit, so I did end up having to go in and fix that later on. So when you are clipping, just make sure you're getting everything clipped off and it comes off nicely. If it's not coming off, don't pull it too much, because like I said, it will pull off. Once you get everything detached from the nail, it should just fall off pretty easily, and you don't have to pull too hard, like that piece right there. if there is a lot of excess glue around, I will trim it down some more with these little scissors, just so I have an easier time cutting down with the nippers and being able to really get in there up next to the nail and make sure I get all of the excess glue off. And then here I am just fixing this tank here that I did pull the backing off of a little bit. I'm just reinforcing those edges. And then I did have a little bit of extra glue on my brush, so I did go ahead and just wipe that all across the entire backing. So after you get your backing on, you are going to have a larger opening here up near the nail bed area and a smaller opening down near the free edge area. You can seal up whichever side you would like to seal up first. Last time I sealed up the free edge area because I was putting in some little charms and stuff in there, and I wasn't sure if they would fit in that smaller opening. So I did leave the larger opening open so it was easier for me to put those items in. But for this one, because I'm not putting in any little sequins or charms or anything in these, I am sealing up the larger hole. So I just take a glob of the glue and just pack that right on in there. I do hold the nail flat, that way the glue doesn't run down into the tank, causing there to be less space for the things to move inside of the nail. And then I do go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. So once all that is cured and sealed up, I do check to see if I can see any holes in there or if there's any gaps, and if there is, I will fill those in. Looking at this one, you can see there's no holes or gaps in that seal, so we're good. Unlike this next nail that I'm going to show, you can see a large gap there. I don't really know how that happened. I guess I didn't have enough product there to completely fill that area in. So I'm just taking a little bit more of the glue, filling that in, and then curing that for 60 seconds. And as you can see here, it is all filled in. So for the first tank here, I am going to be filling it up with some baby oil. I got these syringes off of Amazon. And when you're ordering these syringes, you want to make sure you're getting the blunt edge ones and not the pointy ones. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're both going to do the same thing. But for safety purposes, you want to make sure you're getting the blunt edge ones. That way you're not poking yourself or hurting yourself while doing these. And then after I put the baby oil in, I did leave a little air bubble in there because I am going to be filling in with some food coloring, and I wanted to make sure there was enough space in there to where I wouldn't have a whole lot of oil spilling out. But as you can see, there is some oil spilling out because I didn't leave enough space. But I was also testing out to see if this was going to work without having that air bubble in there, because if you remember from October when I was doing all of my Halloween nails, I did 2 sets, an Alien set and a Friday the 13th set, where I used food coloring, and I was saying how it seemed like the air bubble was helping the food coloring move. So I was testing that out, and as you can see, without that air bubble, the food coloring isn't moving and it's just staying in place. So I did end up off camera dumping out some of that oil and allowing there to be an air bubble in there, and then the food coloring started moving in the tank. So if you are using food coloring, you do want to make sure you have that air bubble in there. That way the food coloring will move. Whenever I'm putting other stuff in the tanks, I hate the air bubbles because it makes it so the items won't move, but with food coloring, the air bubble is necessary. And then apparently I didn't record myself sealing that up, but I will show you how I seal them up later. For this next one, I have some baby oil in this little container here, and I'm just mixing in some glow powder because for this one, I wanted to make it glow. The glow powder doesn't really mix into the baby oil at all. It just kind of settles at the bottom there, but it does make it easier to put the powder into the nail if you mix it in with the baby oil and suck it up into the syringe, because you'll see here in a little bit that this ended up not being enough glow powder, so I was having to try and get the glow powder into the nail after I had filled it. So here I am just sucking up that oil glow powder mixture into the syringe here, and then I am putting that into the tank. I do fill this all the way up and don't leave an air bubble. The glow powder itself will move throughout the tank, and as you can see, it's a very slight tinge of blue, and I wanted even more blue. And once I realized that it wasn't very blue, I quit filling it up so I could set it down and it wouldn't all spill out. And then I'm trying to get more glow powder in there by scooping it in with my cuticle pusher, and that just had glow powder going everywhere, and very little of it actually went into the nail. So this was a little bit of a challenge. So I do recommend, making sure that when you do mix it in, the glow powder into the oil, that you are mixing enough in there before filling it up. That way you don't have to go back in afterwards and try and fill it up some more. But once I got enough glow powder in there that I wanted, I did just go ahead and fill that the rest of the way up. And then after I fill it up, I do check to see how the movement is and if there's any little air bubbles, which as you saw there was a little bit of an air bubble. So I am just going to fill the tank up a little bit more just to get rid of that air bubble, and then I will seal it up. And then to seal it up, I just take my rhinestone glue and place that right onto the nail. I do hold it at a slight angle, again, that way the glue's not dripping down into the tank and affecting any of the movement, and then cure that for 60 seconds. So for this last nail here, I am seeing if I can finally get glitter to move inside of an aquarium nail. I've never been able to do that before, but I saw Muyaya over on Instagram do this really cool Cinderella glitter aquarium nail, and she mixed up water, dish soap, and she used glycerin, but I'm using baby oil. It works the same way. to get the glitter to move, and I'm like, let me try that and see if that works for me, because I've always been wanting to put glitter in these aquarium nails, but I can never get it to move. It always just sticks. So I just poured in some water, put in some of the baby oil, and then a couple drops of dish soap. She did say the slower you want the glitter to move, the more glycerin or oil you want to put in there. I thought I had put a lot of oil in there, but I don't think I put a lot. I did, because the glitter ended up moving a lot faster than I was expecting it to. But anyhow, after I got that mixed up a little bit, I did suck that up into my syringe, and then I decided I was going to use this blue hollow glitter, some of these little blue iridescent flakes, and I was thinking maybe to put a couple of those little plastic leaf looking things in there. So I'm starting out by just filling the tank up with that oil, water, soap mixture. I didn't fill it all the way up at first because I did want to leave a little bit of space for when I put the stuff in and it like disperses the levels of the oil and stuff. But I was realizing the glitter was just sticking up at the top. So then I did go ahead and fill it up all the way. And it ended up working a whole lot better and made it a lot easier to get that glitter down in there. But as you can see, as I'm putting the glitter in, it is falling down to the bottom and it's not sticking on the sides of the nail or anything. So I was getting really excited when I was filling this up because I'm like, the glitter is actually moving. But I wasn't trying to get too excited because I have had before where the glitter will fall down to the bottom and then it just stays there and sticks to the bottom of the tank. So while I was getting excited, I wasn't getting too excited and getting my hopes too high because, like I said, I wasn't really sure if this was going to end up working. But I just put a ton of glitter in. I put some of those little flakes in and those little plastic leaf thingies. I don't even know what those really are, but I never know what to use them for, but I thought they would look cool in this aquarium nail. Although I put so much glitter in here, you can't even like see those little pieces. I've said before, I tend to go way overboard when it comes to filling up these aquarium tanks. So I went like way overboard with the glitter. I just kept adding more and more and more and more. But it ended up turning out pretty good and it actually looks decent. So I just kept adding more stuff in there until I was happy with the amount that was in there. And then I did go ahead and seal that up. I didn't check this one to see how the movement was before filling it up, or if there was any bubbles or anything in it. I was just going based off of how it was moving as it was falling down into the tank and hoping that everything was going to be good once I sealed it up. After all the tanks are sealed up, I am taking a 100-180 grit file and using the 180 side to clean up the edges and to file off the excess from sealing up the tanks to make sure that everything is nice and smooth and the shape is there and isn't distorted and lumpy. While doing this, I am being very gentle and not trying to not file too much because I don't want to cause any leaks. I think it was on the glow in the dark one. I did accidentally file a little too much and did cause a little bit of a leak, but once I noticed it, I did seal it up real quick, and then that was that for that one. So now that they are all filed, I am just going in and top coating the backs of them. That way it's already top coated and I don't have to worry about it later on. After I get the top coat all applied, I do cure for 60 seconds. So now I'm going to be taking this metallic gel and I'm going to paint the free edge as well as the nail bed area of the nails to give it that lava lamp look. I start with doing the free edge first on all of the nails, and then I cure that for 60 seconds, and then I do flip it over and do the nail bed area. Just because I don't have these on my nail stands, I've come to realize that putting these aquarium nails on my nail stands doesn't always work out very well, and they don't stick very well because I can't really push them down onto the sticky tack stuff to make sure that they're really on there. Otherwise it could pop the seal on them. So I do just hold them as I do them, and I'll start on one side and then flip it, and start on one side, cure it, and then flip it and do the other side, because, you know, touching the wet gel, one, you don't want to touch uncured products, and two, you're gonna mess up your stuff if you do touch it. So like I said, I just do the free edge area first, cure that, flip it over, do the nail bed area, cure that. After I'm finished doing that, I'm just going to go in with my shiny top coat and top coat all the nails, and then cure that for 60 seconds. And this is what they look like. I think they came out pretty good, and I'm really happy with them, especially this one. I was finally able to get glitter to move inside of an aquarium nail. The only thing that I don't like about this are those bubbles in there. I'm pretty sure that's from the soap, because any other aquarium nail I've never had that kind of bubbling in it, so I'm pretty sure that's from the soap and me like shaking it back and forth to get the movement maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to mess around with that some more and see if I can get it to where I don't have the bubbling. This one's probably the most boring out of all three of them, just because it's not like the glitter or the food coloring moving around in there. The glow powder does move in there, but like it's just kind of boring compared to the other ones, except for in the dark when it's glowing, then it's fun and I really like it. And then here is the one with the food coloring. It was kind of sticking a little bit. I did shake it up a little bit, and it did break up some of the food coloring a little bit and made like little smaller bubbles of food coloring, so there was a little bit more movement in there. And I know it's kind of hard to see the movement from this angle, but I will show you in a second here from a different angle to where you can really see all that movement. So here is the glow in the dark one. As you can see, the glow powder in there does move. You can definitely see it moving a lot better in the dark here as it's glowing versus in the light when it's not glowing in the dark. And then of course, because I used this hollow glitter in here, I have to show it under the flash so you can really see the hollow and the shine and sparkle from the glitter, but as well showing the others under the flash just so you can see it from different lightings. Seeing the glow in the dark one, I'm like, it'd probably be really cool to put the glow powder in with like the food coloring, so then it really does look like an actual lava lamp nail maybe. I think I'm gonna have to try that out and see what that ends up looking like, because I think that could look really cool to have the glow in the dark and the food coloring, or even if you put the glitter in there too to get like that actual lava lamp look of it being lit up and everything moving in there. I'm just the most excited about that glitter one because I finally got the glitter to be able to move in an aquarium nail, and I've never been able to do that before. So I'm probably going to do a lot more aquarium nails with glitter now because I know how to get it to move, and I'm super excited. Here's a better angle to see the movement inside of the nails. Instead of it being kind of flat, you can actually see it up and down. And I really love how the glow powder moves inside of these aquarium nails. It just looks so cool moving like that. I did this in October with my poison bottle nails, and I just thought that was such a cool effect. I had to do it again for this one. And again, here's a better angle of them moving so you can get the full effect here. But that is it for this video, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.